and welcome to another one of my videos. Now today I'd like to visit a country that I've not seen for a while, and that country is Spain, and take a look at one of their single meal breakfast menus. This particular one is the breakfast number 3. So let's get this on a table and see what this little pack contains. And so, as you can see, I now have here on the table this Spanish breakfast menu number 3. And as we know now, the Spanish menus come in a little pack, cardboard box covered in a green plastic wrap. So, no easy tear strip with these. We just need to bring in our friend to just slit across the top. As we just said, a nice simplistic little cardboard box. So we'll just put this to one side and see what this breakfast menu actually contains. Now straight off the bat we have an instruction sheet, a content sheet, and usually these are written in the 3 languages. So there is the Spanish, the English and French, so we shall just turn that to the English. Very useful to help with translations. So I shall put that to one side. So straight off the bat we have some isotonic powders. Well, actually 1, 2, 3 powders. I think there was a cocoa powder, some isotonic drinks powders. There is a sachet of milk powder. I'm having to read down because there is a lot more powders than what's on the list. The list does actually say bag of sweetened cocoa, bag of skimmed milk, and that's pretty much it. So there must be skimmed milk, cocoa powder, isotonic drinks powder. Very difficult for me to check. I'm going to have to do a translate. I do not think the contents are matching what it says. There is some jam. There is some disinfectant gel. We have a packet of biscuits, sweet biscuits. There are 3 sugar. I think these are sugar. We have cocoa spread with hazelnuts. There is also a dental cream, toothpaste, a toothbrush. There is a gum, set of book matches, water purification tabs, some tissues or TPs, whichever the need first arrives. There is a folding stove and something I now need to get rid of. 2 pieces of hexamine fuel. Now I found out something. In October 23, the UK actually made hexamine a controlled substance, and I now require a permit to own it from the Home Office. Believe it or not, it has been used to make explosives and terrorism, so the UK government have now banned hexamine. Anyone caught with hexamine without the correct permit can face 2 years in prison or thousands of pounds in fine. How ridiculous. I have used hexamine since I was in the British Army in the 80s. It has been in use in the army for over 100 years in the UK. I'm aware it was used in World War I, maybe earlier, I'm not sure. But now, because of terrorism, solid fuel tabs in the UK are now totally illegal to own without a controlled substance permit, resulting in 2 years imprisonment. So in theory, I can now get 2 years in prison for just finding some in here. So any reviewers or any campers that have hexamine, if you didn't know, I didn't know until very recently, the law changed. You are now illegal to own solid fuel tabs in this country. It says if you accidentally come across some like this, I'm supposed to hand them in to the local hazardous substance disposal areas, I suppose with the local council, and pay a small fortune. These are 2 tablets, it's all I have. I'm just going to take them after this review into the garden and burn them. They're gone. So something to bear in mind. I didn't think I was going to need to say this. I only found out about it a couple of weeks ago. There was no advertising in the UK saying hexamine solid fuel tablets are now a controlled substance, and it's a terrorist usable item, carrying up to 2 years imprisonment or thousands of pounds fine. So these are going to be burnt in the garden and got rid of because I haven't got a permit and I don't intend to apply for one. Apparently you can apply for them, they last 3 years, cost £35, but you need to go through the Home Office who do a lot of background checks. You need a lot of references just to hold that. So that's my little rant. That is going to be burnt, it's going to be gone. I do not own or hold any solid fuel tablets. So that said, now let's get to these laid out on a tray and see what this food looks and tastes like. And as you can see, I now have everything here laid out on the tray of this Spanish breakfast ration, and after a very difficult initial translation problems, I now find out we have some milk powder, there is some sweet biscuits, there is honey, jam, chocolate spread, cocoa powder, gum and sugar. So a little bit of difficulty with the original translation, but now I've got that sorted out. We also have the dreaded isotonic powders. For the first time I've had a look at this, and it has instructions on the back. It does say pour straight into the mouth and then just drink with water. I've done both of these in the past. I find these very unpleasant, either putting them in the mouth or mixing them with water, but I will follow the directions because now it is printed on the back where previously it wasn't. But first I think we need to start where I normally like to start, that is making the initial drink. So we have some plain cocoa powder. So it just says it's just cocoa powder and very little else, so it's not even been made into an actual drinking chocolate. So it's very simplistic looking cocoa powder. It also says you need to add 225 millilitres of hot water into the milk. I do like my chocolate or cocoa milky, so it's here. So I'm going to put it straight in. Why they don't pre-mix like every other country, I don't know. It does seem to me like the Spanish like it typically make it as difficult as possible for the troops. So there is the powder now, milk and cocoa. I will save the sugar till I've tasted it and bring in a US MRE spoon. Just hopefully mix these two together. Hopefully they combine. And we'll give it initially about 3/4 of a mug. It says about 220 millilitres. Wow, there is problems mixing. That milk powder is just forming a horrendous clag. Not mixing. Very poor idea. Why can't they just have mixed in the packet like every other army around the world? I'm going to have a little taste of that. It is just covered in floating milk chunks. That has to be one of the worst drinking chocolates. It's weak. The milk is extra creamy. It's too creamy. It's sweet enough. I do not need the sugar, but as you can see, lumpy, lumpy, lumpy. That is with hot water. I can only imagine if I mixed it with cold, it would have been 10 times worse. So, not a good start there. We now have to go along, open the sweet biscuits. One thing I have noticed, it's just all about sugar, nothing else, just sugar, sugar, sugar. Maybe a little bit of carbohydrate from the biscuit, but there is a large pack of biscuits. We can go along and open the raspberry jam. So there is a little pot of raspberry jam. They also have a chocolate spread, like a Nutella style chocolate spread. That's just a brand name. Obviously there are many others out there. After a bit of confusion, this feels like some crystalline honey in a sachet. Again, I can feel all the crystals stuck to the top, making it difficult to move it down to open. I just try and take the corner off the honey. The sugar I won't need. We do have 3 packets of the sugar, and we have the gum for after the meal, but it also came with a toothbrush and toothpaste. So I've already tried the chocolate, so it's just have some water on standby. As I say, I've noticed this every time. They have these all hydration salts which you just pour into your mouth according to the instructions, which never used to be on the back but are now, and then you're supposed to just swig it down with water. I have tried them both ways. I know what's coming. So there are just a set of powders, and I just pour some of those into my mouth. Plenty of water. My word. If it tasted like sherbet or sugar solution, it wouldn't be so bad. Very chemical, instant dry. In the moment it hit your tongue shrank due to the hydration it took away from your mouth. Needed lots of water. Hydration salt have to be one of the worst ideas also. Why they can't do like all other armies, mix them with a fruit flavoured drink that you can stir into your water. Okay, so moving along to the biscuits, a large pack of biscuits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14 biscuits. The first couple are broken, so I'll have a taste of those. A very basic white wheat biscuit, similar to how in the UK that you have for dunking in tea. So it's like a dunking style biscuit. It's sweet, it's tasty, it's a biscuit. Nothing more, nothing less. Very similar to a plain, simple cookie biscuit here in the UK. Obviously, the idea is to use some of the extras. So first of all, we'll start off with the jam. Slight separation, film on the top there. Decent jam. I can see the fruit in there. It's not an artificial jam. It is made of actual fruit. You can see the seeds from the raspberries. As jams go, a decent quality jam. Let's take a look at the chocolate spread. Very much Nutella style, I think. Why people know Nutella. And in taste, just like Nutella. I keep using that brand because that is the brand I'm most familiar with. Just a typical chocolate hazelnut spread. Bit like the jam. It is a good one. It's not a cheap tasting spread. It's a tasty quality spread. We also have some honey, which is crystalline, and I can't get to leave the packet. Again, as I keep saying, I don't understand why these rations make everything so difficult for the troops. They could have mixed the chocolate powders together. They could have mixed the isotonic powder in a juice, and I cannot even get the honey out. To say I'm feeling a little bit frustrated with this one is an understatement. I do try to be objective all the time, but as you can see, that honey is crystalline in the packet. There's no way that's coming out without getting yourself absolutely caked. As you can see, totally useless idea. Let's try a little bit anyway. A little bit of the crystalline honey. I'm now covered in honey. Not the best quality honey. You cannot taste the flowers that I expect. I like to taste the nectar, the flowers that the bees have visited. Cannot taste it with this. It's more like just a plain simple crystalline sugar. Let's try and get a bit more. Well, that's all we're going to get. It's all just disappointing honey. Disappointing cocoa chocolate drink. Disappointing isotonic powders. Good quality jam and chocolate, hazelnut chocolate spread. I'm absolutely sticky from the honey. If I was out in the field like the troops, where there's dirt and there's grass, the last thing you want is to be covered in honey. Attract the midges, mosquitoes, flies. Not even a wet nap to clean them off. You have some disinfecting gel which does not remove stickiness. Okay. You can probably tell by my demeanour, very unhappy with this breakfast from the Spanish military rations. Not a reflection on the country. Many hundreds of thousands of Brits go to Spain and say it's a beautiful country. This is a reflection on the Spanish government. Shame on you, Spanish government, if you give these to your troops for breakfast. We have got a toothbrush to clean off all that sugar before it makes cavities, and they include the toothpaste, 2 more packs of sugar, and that basically is it. So, not my most favourite breakfast. Did I enjoy this? No, I did not. Would I enjoy this as a soldier out in the field? No, I would not. Everything in there was hard work, sticky, messy, and unenjoyable. So, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification button for future videos coming very soon. And thank you, goodbye.